Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silent Hill. I'm Robin at Interjack Without C, and it's been a minute. Uh, I took a week off, kind of chill for a little bit, and we're back now, and we are working on our next fear. What does this mean? It means that we have two more endings to go. We have the good regular ending and the bad plus ending. We will be picking between Sybil and Michael as our like as our go-tos of like who we are going to be dealing with. This is good shit. Twitch is currently having a little bit of an issue where none of my quick actions in Stream Manager are working, but that's fine. We'll just deal with it.
Was I dreaming?
Hi AJ, good to see
How
ya.
do you feel?
Oh, like I've been run
So
over.
we're going to just start by getting the ball rolling and picking up everything. So I picked kind of a weird week to bounce out. Like just a lot of fun news that I'll leave to the chat to decide if they want to talk about today or not. But honestly, I'm just kind of excited to get the ball rolling on this again, get back to streaming. I'm not going to be talking too much about why I took my little break, because you know what? I just
What's that?
needed it. It was a good time.
Huh. Radio. What's going on with that radio?
Let's find out. Let's see if I remember how to play. Ow. That's the button. I've done it.
This is not a
Hey,
dream.
Lark.
What's happening to this place?
All right. So, unfortunately, I can't run a poll for longer than 10 minutes. So I'm just going to need y'all to do the safe thing and just tell me which ending you want. So for the bad plus ending, that is focused entirely on saving Sybil, but not going after the nasty red juice that Michael Kaufman has in his motorcycle for whatever reason, because that's a totally normal thing to just have. Okay, I need to make sure I get ready to dodge these guys because, ooh boy, ooh doggy, quite literally. My personal vote is saving Sybil first so that we can end this particular series of streams with a good ending. But I like Sybil, even if she is a bastard.
Isn't it?
So I am at odds. How's everybody doing today? I myself am doing pretty well. I've been fairly productive. Cool, that's one vote for bad plus ending. Save Sybil. Hell yeah, alright. That's two. I'm gonna keep a mental note of it as we haul ass. This playthrough is going to be kind of interesting because in order to ease the stress of the last boss fight, which changes depending on the ending you get. Ooh, we're already hurting. We need to hold on to as many healing items as we can. This is really bad. Wow. We're in a great situation here. Good, but I just ate a fresh-ass jalapeno and now I'm all weepy. Ooh, yeah, that sounds about right. Let's take a look at our health. It's probably in the red now because we took 3 hits in a row and we probably can't survive a 4th. We can't do a lot of safety heals. Me good? Hell yeah. And yeah, have I mentioned my hot sauce in the eye story? I don't feel like I have. So one time in high school, and specifically geometry class, somebody decided, hey, I've got this little Ziploc baggie of homemade hot sauce. Anybody want to try it? And of course, I'll eat anything. So I was like, yeah, that sounds dope. I didn't have spoons or serving utensils or anything like that because it was geometry class. Like, it just wasn't going to happen. Um, so we just all stuck our finger in there and just like grabbed a little dip and consumed. And in fairness to him, it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. It was nice. It was spicy. But because we were all just like, yeah, just dip your finger in. I uh I didn't think anything of it. I thought I'd clean my finger off as best I could, given the circumstances. This is before the COVID era. And we were in class. So I just kind of sat there like, okay, yeah, I don't see any more hot sauce. It's probably fine. I got sleepy like I always did in math class, because unfortunately I couldn't help but fall asleep in certain classes. Wasn't a great student. That was especially bad in any sort of math. So I rubbed my eye. And for the next half hour, I was down on my desk, as I usually was, but mostly because I was in intense pain and suffering, because eyes are, you may come to understand, are not built to take spicy things. So I was sitting there for half an hour paying even less attention than normal because I had hot sauce in my eye, and it was one of the most painful experiences I had had up to that point. It was really fun. I remember it weirdly fondly because, hoo boy, I'm never going to do that again because it was just such an awful and memorable experience. I've since gone on. Hi, Mom. And I didn't say hi B explicitly, I don't think, but hi B. Um, I've since tried much spicier things. I've had ghost pepper powder. I've eaten whole jalapenos with the seeds. I've done many a thing that is super spicy. But that one, it wasn't the spiciest thing I ever ate by a long shot, but it was the spiciest experience I ever had. That was just pure pain. It was so not fun. Chopped habanero and then touched an eye. Yep. For anyone who watches Hot Ones, be careful around the eyes. Be careful around the eyes. So, some possibly big news this week is that we are apparently getting a Silent Hill stream from Konami themselves. And it's probably not a pachinko machine this time. I actually don't have a problem with the whole pachinko machine market. It's not like they're diverting resources away from a studio. Like, people can knock the pachinko machines, but they're really popular in Japan, and most importantly, they don't actually have anything to do with the main development of any core title. And sometimes you get some really cool animations out of it. But... Hi, Cat. I know I've had some chicken dishes that were spicier than intended when I made them. Hell yeah. Um, but I think we're probably going to see either or both a Silent Hill 2 remake announcement, probably from Bloober, which I'm not personally super pumped for, because I'm not huge on Bloober. I respect the work they do, and I think they make some really good gameplay, but not necessarily my favorite writers. And I think we are also just as likely to hear about a new Silent Hill project from some former Silent Hill staff. Why do I believe this? Because the name Team Silent has been coming up a lot. And while the original founder of Team Silent is off doing his own new horror game, which I'm very excited about, there are a lot of... Oh, wow, okay. So this is only possible after doing a good and bad ending. We now have a Kataner in a very Japanese room. Like, this is... None of this stuff shows up anywhere else in the game. They just did this. Second day after Ryan became a roommate, he got pepper in his eyes. Aw. In his eye, and I had them hold him over the sink to wash out his eyes. God. I'd like an actually good HD collection. Oh, big mood. Yeah, like Konami has like been in this weird period where like I don't actually know if they have any internal developers right now. Which is kind of a weird thing to say. They are one of the most notable video game companies, and they still technically release things. So what's going on? And it's mostly just they license out their IPs and make very like nowadays make much more considered efforts than they have beyond a couple of years ago in deciding, okay, we're going to actually make a game or have a game be made. Personally, I don't want a new Silent Hill. And if we do get one, I would rather. Cowabunga collection's gone over real well. Yeah, for the most part, it was handled really well. Their classics collections have been surprisingly good. They had M2 handling a lot of those, like the Castlevania and Contra collections, so they were as choice as ever. M2 is a great developer, especially when it comes to ports of older titles. You're going to get as close to authentic as you're ever going to get thanks to them. They are some stellar staff. But I don't think they worked on Cowabunga collection, but it's still a good collection. Like seriously, I thought it wouldn't be worth the price, but I've already played enough hours on that yeah, no, it's good actually. But it seems like Konami is kind of trying to take their licenses seriously and actually try to make new stuff. But they also seem to be exclusively relying on license, which is frustrating. Because some of these licenses, like Silent Hill, they're long in the tooth and they have a very storied history where once Team Silent stopped working on them, people, like, the quality of the games dropped immensely. So it's really frustrating to know that, like, we're probably going to get a new Silent Hill. Yay! And it's probably going to be from studios that are not going to be given the budget to make it good. It's like, ouch. I would like to be wrong about that, of course. We're going to grab a couple of healing items. And our goal is to get to the end of the game without using much ammo. We're going to try and use our laser blaster as much as we can. And have multiple, at least 2, first aid packs. So let's rush over here. Oh. What? Oh, this weapon is kind of interesting. It's strong. That is for true. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at what we need to do. We've got the door unlocked. I think we need to go to the second floor and um, let's see. Yeah, got to go to the lab equipment room and then the chemistry lab. That's our first task. Oh, rude. Oh, dang. Oh, that's especially rude. Okay, katana, not great. So it goes away. It is clumsy, it is weird, and we are, wow, we already have 10, those things are going away fast. Okay. Let's grab this, run over here. It's not these, it's this. Gimme. Then get out of here, go straight to the left. This is fun. This is a good time. Oh, rude. You stay down. Y'all could just, yeah, there we go. Oh, okay. So, what are we doing next? We are fussing with the controls is what we're doing next. We're still kind of low on health, but I don't want to use anything when we're not in the red, which is dangerous. Not gonna lie, it's dangerous. All right, so we've got the gold coin. And now we're going to, hopefully, get through the library. There we go. Oh, invisible baby. I hate the invisible baby. Okay. We're gonna run down. And we're going to shoot our gun. Okay. Unlock. And gently walk our way forwards as we murder children zombies. There we go. Okay. And now both doors are unlocked. Okay. So we can go to the courtyard and drop the gold coin off, but I think what I would rather do is go back down this way. I think we can get to the music hall from the second floor. Yes. So that's what we're going to do. Kind of foregoing our usual route to just focus on making our way through as many objectives as possible. Why did it take me until now to think of a hand of glory with that hand status? Ooh, what do you mean? I am... Explain! I am interested. Then we have the piano. Oh, that's why they want us to do that. Statue, okay. That's what you meant. Okay, we're just gonna knock him down and run. We don't need to pick fights. We don't need to concern ourselves over much about anything that is not immediately in our vicinity. Okay. If anything is trying to attack me, it's not near me. So, we're going to use... A Hand of Glory is the dried hand of a hanged man, typically one hanged for murder, that has special powers if you use it as a candle. Huh. That's really interesting. I like the idea of that. I wonder if I can pocket that somewhere. The candle so made, lighted and placed as if in a candlestick in the Hand of Glory, would have rendered motionless all persons to whom it was presented. I mean, I don't even think there's something supernatural to that. If that's what you got in your house, people are going to stop and go, what the fuck? And just stand there, and that's going to be their day. Alright, so we learned something. This is actually governed by the gold medallion in the clock tower. Fine! Do I remember how this goes? I am not... Crap. Okay. I was one key off, I think. Cenobite stuff. Pretty much. God, I've got to watch that new Hellraiser. I've heard good things. I think I've mentioned that. Oh! There's also some, like, sad news. The whole Bayonetta 3 news. That I'm still kind of, like, broken up about. Let's see. Can this be opened? It's locked. Okay. For those of you who don't know, because this is stuff in my wheelhouse, it is stuff I care about, here's the explanation of the story for those of you who might not know the whole thing. Helena Taylor, the voice actress for Bayonetta 1 and 2, as, like, the title character, has publicly gone on record and basically stated that, like, after her efforts to try and reprise the role, which she was not initially offered, she made a plea to Hideki Kamiya, the creator of Bayonetta and one of the founders and current VP of Platinum Games, and was finally given an offer for $4,000. Like, the whole amount for the work that she was expected to do as the protagonist of and this is a point that is addressed in the videos that she posted, a $450 million franchise. Now she makes the claim that she is the voice of Bayonetta. And that's true because the game didn't actually release with, like, she was the first voice actress for Bayonetta, like, period, as far as I'm aware. So for someone whose identity is as much, or whose voice is as much a part of the Bayonetta franchise as Mari Shimazaki's character designs, as much as the actual character action combat that helped cement Platinum Games as a premier action developer. Like, that's a pittance. And it's especially strange because right now, VA work for Japanese products, mostly in anime, but also in games, is kind of weird. Sean Chiplock, who worked on
Where
Breath of
am
the
I?
Wild, admitted he got about $250 total for his work on
Have I been here before?
for Breath of the Wild. Um,
I don't remember this being here before.
if I remember correctly, he played God, who was it? I don't quite remember. I think he played what is his name? Rivali. And he played a couple of other characters as well, but like he was a major name. Um and he was paid an absolutely abysmal amount. A voice actress for Jujutsu Kaisen uh mentioned that for the entire series she was paid $150. Kyle McCarley was not asked back to take his role for Mob Psycho 100 because he tried to get Crunchyroll to sit down with union reps to talk about a contract. Um, let's see. Done all that. So now we need to go into I think we need to go to the classroom. This has obviously been going on for a while. Goku's VA said that he was paid more for a few runs at Paw Patrol than their entire time on DBZ. That unfortunately tracks. Like, what we're seeing is a very common pattern of voice actors not being given, like, okay. There's a common argument about, like, well, you're not actually spending as much time doing voice acting as the developers are in, like, making their game, which is technically true. Like, on the surface, that tracks. However, the thing about a lot of development is that voice actors become a public-facing, advertised identity of these products. Ah, dang. Took a few too many hits. I'm trying to save up on health items, and it's going to be hard. Luckily, we can continue and pick stuff up where we're going. So, all of this is to say that thanks to the pattern that has been going on with Helena Taylor making these comments, which fits in absolutely with how other voice actors have been talking about, like, voice acting in games, especially for Japanese games and anime. And combined with the fact that Hideki Kamiya has claimed Helena Taylor is lying about everything, which, hot damn, what a way to throw fire on that. And then summarily, Hideki Kamiya. Wow, okay, we were just low on health. Hideki Kamiya blocking so many people on Twitter calling him out for this because he was directly named as, like, one of the reasons why Helena Taylor was given such a poor offer. He blocked so many people that he got suspended from Twitter. And he, after that, decided to quit Twitter, which is a great look when you're trying to convince people that you've done nothing wrong. Like, really great. I would say just A+, great way to convince people that you're right and that the other person is the real liar. Like, goddamn. And so Helena Taylor has called for a boycott, specifically to protest the conditions that voice actors are expected to deal with. and she has been roughly supported by Grey Delisle, who, I don't always have the highest opinion of her as like a social media person, but she and even Jennifer Hale have stated that, like, yeah, voice actors need to be paid their due. They do a lot of incredible work. Grey Delisle, of course, is or no, Grey Griffin Delisle, Grey Delisle Griffin, is the voice actor for Bayonetta's beau, Jeanne. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm going to just need to start shooting. So anyway, I started blasting. Now, what this all means is I have canceled my pre-order of the special edition of Bayonetta 3. This came 2 days after like one of the newest trailers dropped, and I can't help but say, like, I was so looking forward to this game that the idea of like boycotting it gave me some pause. Hey, Ayla. I was sitting there like, do I actually want to boycott it? Because this is the game I've been looking forward to. And I had to deal with some feelings about that I did not really want to. I did not want to be put in a position where this thing I've been looking forward to for a few years, even before it was officially announced, I was sitting there like, but do I really want to? And in the end, this has been a frequent enough problem that, like, I have made the decision that, like, you know what? I have lived for as long as I have known it was going to exist without having it. I can live the rest of my life without it. It's fine. Which sucks, because I really want it. It looks amazing. It looks dope as hell. It looks fantastic. It looks like so much fun, and like, in a vacuum, Jennifer Hale does a pretty good Bayonetta. She's no Helena Taylor, but few people are. However, I care more about people being paid their due, being given respect for the work that they do, than I do having this really neat thing that, yes, I was incredibly excited for, and there is still a part of me kind of waiting and champing at the bit for the possibility of, like, finding Let's Plays later on or buying it used so that I don't, like, infringe on the boycott. In which case, I have plenty of stores I can go to where I can support local business instead of Platinum. It also means that for the foreseeable future, we're not playing any more Platinum games on here with, like, very few exceptions, which sucks. I was a big supporter of the Wonderful 101 remaster. I have 2 copies of that game, maybe 3 now, Jesus Christ. And there are a lot of things that, like, this kind of messes up. And, like, yeah, it sucks to be a consumer in the position of, like, okay, I have to see if I'm really going to support a boycott for something that could have been my favorite fucking thing. And that's a weird thing to say about, like, a product. So, I don't know. Like, this is one of those bummer situations where, like, because somebody's calling for a boycott to, like, defend their honor, so to speak, it's something I'm going to respect. While there hasn't been a boycott called for Overwatch 2 that I know of, while there hasn't been a boycott called for Crunchyroll and their desire to underpay their voice actors immensely, or even like Nintendo of America for paying Sean Chiplock $250. the fact is, like, my feelings about having a neat video game are not more important than making sure the industry stops messing up. Now, I don't know what the conditions for the boycott are. I've watched the videos that Helena Taylor has posted, and she's not calling for anything specific other than like, hey, this isn't cool, and people need to be paid their due, which is absolutely fair. Also, hi, Necrobob. Good to see ya. So yeah, it's unfortunate news. It means I won't be streaming Bayonetta 3 or playing it at all. At least not anytime soon. And if I do, it's going to be under very specific constraints. Hell, I could use that as an opportunity to be like, if Helena Taylor needs money for a legal fund, that seems like a decent thing to raise money for. Okay, is there anything here that could be useful? No. So we're gonna poke the door and we're gonna get a cutscene that has some very important information that we are going to immediately ignore. Okay, we need to move. Because we are going to be hurting really bad, really quick, if we don't get out of here. So I think, now that we've done that, where do we need to go? Trying to remember. Yeah, she has stated that she doesn't have much money. She has stated that, like, you know, she's been available, she hasn't had a lot of work, and she doesn't have much that she can spare financially. And like, here's the thing about it. The thing that gives her credibility is that she is breaking a non-disclosure agreement in order to discuss it, which is a big deal. Like, this is the reason why when she says this is happening, I choose to believe her, because to break a non-disclosure agreement is no small matter. You can get your ass sued to hell and back. And she has basically stated, okay, I'll take the legal problem. I will go ahead and accept this. That is how important this is to me. That's how important it is that I feel that, like, voice actors need to be respected, because this is not a livable wage for the work that we do, which is true. So if she's going to stick her neck out and goes through this NDA, then the least I can do, especially if she is somebody whose work I value, because Bayonetta 1 and 2 are still, even with everything that's going on, two of my favorite character action games of all time. And that will probably never stop. I will still probably go play them again, even if I won't rebuy them anytime soon. Probably not until, like, maybe Hideki Kamiya is removed from Platinum, which is a hell of a thing for me to even think. Or until proper recompense is given to not just Helena Taylor, but anyone else Platinum might have screwed over. And she is publicly naming Platinum Games as being responsible for this. I don't know how true that is, because I don't know if they were responsible for localizing it. I don't know if this was Nintendo of America's doing, which would fit very neatly into Sean Chiplock's comments about how much he was paid. So, like, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go down. And, like, I'm worried for Helena Taylor. There have been comments about, like, people she follows on Twitter and so forth, like possible political affiliations and some other stuff like that that have been brought up that I think are kind of important, but I don't think are relevant to this particular conversation, because if somebody is going to be hired for a job, they deserve to be given a proper pay for it. Like, I think no matter what, if somebody is going to be like, I'm going to offer you money for playing the protagonist of a game franchise that has made $450 million, and it's a lot of talking, and your voice is going to be one of the main points of advertising because Bayonetta is a full-fledged character whose personality is part of the game's appeal, if not a necessary component, which is what really gets me about all this. Like, this isn't just somebody going like, yeah, this is a bit role. This is, I don't care what anyone says, Helena Taylor is right when she says she is the voice of Bayonetta. I kind of lost my train of thought. The point is, I'm boycotting. I'm following the boycott because I think it's important. I think if voice actors are going to be given better conditions, then we need to support people who are sticking their neck out and putting their jobs on the line to try and address this, because the fact that NDAs can be broken by simply saying how much you're paid or how much you were offered in an environment where it is known that voice actors are critically underpaid and union work becomes a point of contention when all that really does is allow people to, like, you know, have health insurance. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things are... Oh, you know what? I just kind of went the long way around for that. All of these things are reasons why we need to reevaluate our relationship with games, with corporations, with even our favorite video game companies, because, like, this isn't workable. This isn't something you can salvage outright. We have to address the root causes, and we have to take that seriously. So, yeah. As much as I want to stream Bayonetta 3, and I really, really do, because I really, really want to play it, it's not going to happen without some serious changes. Ooh. Okay, so we need to go upstairs. Sorry, this is what happens when I take a break from this game. I get lost real quick. I'll be following a guide a little bit more closely as we progress. Oh, I can shoot through walls. That's neat. Anyway, so that's unfortunate, but apart from... I think one of the earlier points I was making is just, like, even if a shitty person is being offered a job, that shitty person still deserves to have money, a livable wage for the work they do. That was the point I was trying to make earlier that I didn't get around to. It's like, I don't want shitty people to have jobs, but if they're going to be offered them, like, we can't sit there and decide, like, okay, your political affiliations are enough for me to be like, I'm going to pay you less. No, that's not the way it works. Shoot. Okay. Let's go into the classrooms and see if we can find anything. Did I actually pick up that key? Classroom key. Because, I think slippery slope is a kind of logical fallacy that is really easy to get caught up in. But it is a slippery slope to say, I get to pay somebody less because I don't value them or their politics. It's like, that's not a good foundation for which to determine the standard living wage of another human being. It just isn't. And there is no system in which there is no system that's going to work in which the people you don't like are treated worse. Because, like, how are we going to help everybody, including like people who are ignorant, people who are hateful, if we don't create systems in place for those to not have to? I don't know. Like, it's hard to do this while also dealing with like these roach enemies and mumblers and stuff. It just really comes down to just pay people what they're worth. Pay people what the job is worth. It really just goes down like that. And trying to make personal assessments on like whether or not somebody deserves to be paid for that is ridiculous, and I'm not here for it. Anyway, perfect timing. Jump scare. Don't want to work with them? Don't. Making money by fucking someone else over is just a status quo we already got. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that's like much of a soapbox. I think there was a philosophy tube about the death penalty a while back. And one of the points that it made that I thought was really salient was just because you might feel better about a certain kind of punishment doesn't make it just. Like, you have to make a decision whether or not your politics are based on your desire for revenge or on your desire for justice. And there is a very difficult conversation to have with oneself when we talk about, like, one of the reasons why I disappeared for the week is that an abuser in my life came back, which apparently is a common thread among Twitch streamers. And I had to deal with the anxiety that caused. I had to deal with the ramifications of that happening in my social circles. And, like, I don't like the guy. I don't want him in my life. I would prefer that he stay away. I don't want him to suffer. I don't want him to have the death penalty. I don't believe in the death penalty. Even though there are times where I'm like, this motherfucker should die. That is not a basis for a legal system. So my belief from this comes from like a kind of personal place where I have had to contend with my initial gut feeling of, I don't like this person and I want them to suffer. And I don't like this person, but that doesn't mean they should live a worse life just because of some legitimately terrible mistakes they may have made. There are certain things I would rather them not have to suffer through, even if I would feel better about it. Like, I have that personal stake, and it's a weird one to express because I know plenty of victims of abuse. I know plenty of people who have been wronged in their work environments who would not agree with the sentiment, right? And they have every right. I fully understand where they're coming from, but as good as it might feel, and we're still operating under the Schrodinger's shithead property with Helena Taylor. I don't know if she's actually a bad person. She seems lovely. If the people she follows is indicative of her endorsement of them, which I don't legitimately feel is the case because I don't necessarily endorse all of the people I follow, or at least not all of the things that they might say. Like, even if she sucked, even if she was like a terrible person, if somebody made her a shit offer, I would still be pretty bummed out about it. Because that's not a good system to work within. Anyway, I'm just gonna climb down from my little soapbox here as I continue to play Silent Hill. Um, we're going to crack this open. Go get yourself some saves. By yourself, I mean myself. So yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else in the news? Anything at all? Gosh. Because this is going to be a long run, if not. Or maybe a short run. Maybe if I start focusing on the game, I'll do better. That seems silly, though. Okay. So now we have this lovely puzzle. So what's everybody been playing lately? That's right, I've actually been playing a lot of stuff. I mentioned on Twitter I've been playing Arcade Paradise, which is a lot of fun. It is a nice little narrative game set up like an arcade management simulator. But what it actually is a story about following your passion even in a small environment where maybe your effects aren't going to be known, and chasing your passion even if like people around you might doubt you. And they create this nice little management sim style game. It's like really nice. Like it's genuinely quite good, if very buggy. That's one complaint I have, is that it is a buggy little game. And that has not stopped me from playing it almost obsessively this past week. So I kind of give my recommendation on like a provisionary basis, because I'm not done with it, and it could still use some more bug fixes on PC at least. I don't know how it's running on other platforms. Hopefully well. Neurovoider. Oh, I know about that one. And I love a twin stick shooter. So right now I'm trying to stock up on ammo as best I can. Okay, we've got our start. Ah, dang it. Okay, so we gotta be extra careful when dealing with that fight. We're gonna stay with the Hyper Blaster, or the Laser Light Blaster? Justice Bringer. For the first part of the fight, and save up our shotgun shells as best we can for the second half. Looks like we can actually go a little more than halfway around the circle because he has trouble turning around. Trials of Mana. Ooh, yeah. That's the name of the 3D remake, right? Okay, we actually have a good group here. Anything to give us less reason to use up our shotgun shells? We got backed into a wall though. Yeah, the voice acting, I remember not being crazy about it, but it was fine. I remember the gameplay being like surprisingly good. It was still very much like the old game. but it just had enough there to feel good, and it looked much more like the concept art while still being very much like the old game. Like, it seemed like a really faithful remake, which I know a lot of people weren't happy with the remake of Secret of Mana, but Trials seems, as far as I saw, to be like about as good as the original. And considering the constant praise I heard for Seiken Densetsu 3, that's not small praise. On a related note, I finally beat Live Alive. And hey, that's a good game. I was really pleased by the final chapter and like the setup for the finale. I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought the ending gauntlet was really entertaining. I thought it had some neat ideas, and it had like a weirdly potent message that I was not expecting from it. Good game. I would strongly recommend it, especially if you are into old school JRPGs. Crud! Oh, that was unfair. I had a hit detection issue there. I may just go ahead and use those shotgun shells on that second phase. I don't wanna. I'm trying, like, I'm losing because I'm being stubborn. Which is a terrible reason to be losing a fight. What else? I started playing Death's Door. I'm really liking that. That is from Acid Nerve, the developers behind Titan Souls, which I did not like, but everything I heard about Death's Door is fantastic. So, like, I just took a chance with it, and it was a chance worth taking. It'd be nice if I could get an overhead view like the original battle, though. Yeah, that's fair. I could see that being, like... Because I remember playing it and being kind of overwhelmed at times, even in small battles, because I couldn't really see where anything was happening. And that's just what happens when you make a game that is supposed to be... Oop. Okay. Supposed to be, like, a very specific brand of combat that, like, the series up to that point it was kind of known for. Oh, shoot! Yeah, okay, so there is an issue with... If he bumps us... Hi, Rose. Good to see ya. If he bumps us, we, stop moving. Just long enough that he can just chomp. So it's not a great bit. And it doesn't matter if we have the shotgun or not. Like, that's just going to happen. So let's run around. Oh, he's Scooty in this run. Okay. God, what else have I been playing? Not actually that much else, if I'm being honest. Apart from, like, Neo 1. And I think Dynasty Warriors 9, but nobody wants to hear about Dynasty Warriors 9. And nor should you. If you're the kind of person who's like, I could go for a Dynasty Warrior that isn't really anything like Dynasty Warrior, then sure, we can talk Dynasty Warriors 9. Yep, that little bump. How do I avoid that? There is an auto target though. That is good. I think I remember that from the demo. All I know is I need to get it. I want it. And I'm really bad at I'm really bad at Secret of Mana and Seiken Densetsu 3. Like vanilla. And that game is a little bit more my speed. More my flavor. So for those of you who came in a little late, how are y'all doing? Hopefully well. And if not well, then I hope you're dealing. Yeah, the boss fights in the first Silent Hill are very something. They're not they're not they're not bad. They're just not the kind of memorable you would expect, you know? Okay, we managed to avoid it that time. There we go. Okay, we need to give him a little bit more room to do his thing. See if we can do this without shotgun shells. Yes, Yakuza like a dragon. Oh, that game slaps. Insomniac, but hey, I get to watch cool streams. Hell yeah. I'm glad to provide. Let's scoot over a little bit. I am preemptively backing up a little too early for this. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, that was me not paying attention. Okay, I'm just gonna pull out the shotgun for the second phase this time. Character very customizable. You can switch skills around to make a build that suits you. Ooh, hell yes. I need to stop dying here. I love that wonderful low poly monstrosity. It's so freaking wrong, right? And this was my wall initially. I honestly think when it comes to hard mode, it's this boss and the final boss that are the worst ones. They are resource sinks, and it is very easy to mess up to the point where you just cannot get things going. Okay, so now he's doing that, so we're going to switch over to our shotgun and do this correctly, the way it is intended, which I hate. I don't want to do it the way it's intended. I want to use nothing so that we can finish the game with all the ammo. Okay, we almost got 8 there. That's okay. 5 shells. That's a good amount. I can work with that. That is tolerable. All right, so now we see Alessa, we see her projection. That is our first hint that things are complicated here. As has been mentioned, the story for Silent Hill 1 is interesting and a little bit, by a little bit, I mean very obscured. There are a lot of elements of like drug use and cults and so forth that kind of offer a lower burn compared to the actual narrative beats. It's actually really interesting to me. The way this game doesn't really rely on having its narrative beats be explicit, because so much of its narrative beats make more sense as you start learning the backstory, which is like good stuff. Finally cool enough that I can really pile on the blankets. I must have slept for over 12 hours, so comfy. Hell yeah, I love that. Okay, so we're going south. Now, we can hit up the gas station to pick up some fuel, where we can then go, like, we'll get the chainsaw for the first time. We haven't had a chance to do that yet. So let's go get ourselves a chainsaw. The blood, all that blood is our sign of tuning in. That's called environmental storytelling. And, it is a good way to flag to the player that this is an important thing. I love that. Anything here? Nope. Just a save point over here, which we definitely want to use because my controller is vibrating and that means we're not doing so hot. That's fine. Anything there? Nope. Listen, I am nothing if not ready to commit to a bit. Okay. See, are there any games I'm looking forward to? I was looking forward to Gotham Knights, and I still am, because I like WB Montreal. I think they're a fun studio with some really clever ideas, and I think Arkham Origins is underrated. But it's also $70, and I'm not paying that much for a video game. So as much as I want to be excited for that, I'm probably not getting it anytime soon until it goes on sale. Apparently the new Mario & Rabbids game is really good, which I had no doubt of because the first one is really good and people need to not sleep on it. I'm not big on Ubisoft, but that one actually is wholesome. It's good. Nothing if not delightful. Okay, so here is Dahlia Gillespie, who is having a real normal one and is totally not behind everything that's happening. Just gonna watch her get a little gummy for a second. Chewing some gum. I can skip this. I don't know why she does that. Just why the chewing motion? It's weird. Mostly just kind of funny. Give me that. Thank you. Chewing some gum and also all the scenery. Gotta chew something. All right, so we're going to head to our right to the east. We're going to stop by the gas station, get some gasoline, and then head back the other way to pick up, Terra the Hemosaurus. Just released. And so did Potionomics. And so did Scorn. Oh man, there are some games I want to play. I also want to play Cult of the Lamb, which is also something I've been very interested in and have not played. I did not expect people to be like all over that game. But I'm going to look up Terror of the Hemosaurus because I remember seeing the trailers for that and being intrigued. Like, it looked like fun. God, they're actually a good stream one. Yeah, I was thinking about what to play for our, like, in-betweens, because I have a couple of games in mind. World of Horror. Your chatters can become cult members. Yeah, that's right. Shit. Tell you what, if I end up getting into that, I'm going to try and, like, do it right. Make it maybe a regular thing for a bit. Nope, that's not opening. So that's not where we need to go. La 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 la. Bee Watchers. Oh, that's not it. Where is the chainsaw store? There is the chainsaw store. Give me the chainsaw store. Hey. And... Okay, we're going to do a quick heal because this dog is definitely going to hit us. Ooh, install the PS1 filters for Unity. Yeah, because you have... So, I'm going to gush about Rose for a second. Rose is an independent game maker who does her own streams as well, and has made like a lot of traditional and digital video games, or a lot of traditional and digital games that you can find on her itch.io page. And she currently has like an avatar that is really great of a jackalope of herself with the cloud and drag low poly model, and it's really good. And like you can find her work on Modern Modron on Twitter. No space. It's good stuff. You should absolutely follow her. She's great. Kind of Rampage. I've been wanting a game where I can just destroy the world of man. Have fun with it, you know? Yeah. We can talk all day about man's inhumanity to man, but what if we got to be inhuman to man? What if we just got to do that and not even be man? I suppose that's just being transgender. It's a quiet little rim shot that just rang in my head when I did that. Yeah, everyone I know who's followed Rose, thanks to my own boosting, like, seems to like stick around, so it's like really nice. Domino clubs, yes, they are. I haven't gotten too far into Domino Club stuff, but if y'all want some freak nasty stuff, and I mean that as a compliment, if y'all want some queer balls to the wall weirdness, I would strongly recommend looking that up on Rose's Twitter. There's plenty of stuff on that because she has developed for and with them, and I don't know if you're a part of Domino Club. I know you've contributed in some capacity, which is really cool. 1000% freak nasty. Good. Is there no... Oh, there is shotgun shell. I love shotgun shell. That is good. I'm a clubby. Hell yeah. Yeah, so... Hey, you know what? Since we've already been, like, praising Rose like we should, Fatboy Slim, anybody else have anything to plug? Because, like, I like y'all, and a lot of y'all have some really cool stuff going on. All the games are released anonymously, so I may or may not have made any of them. Yeah, that's why I purposefully left out the works that you personally made, because I think, like, I've checked some of them out, especially the ones you made, and they're good. They're good. I like them. And if nobody wants to plug, that's fine. Absolutely not forcing anyone. Hey, in development or stuff that you've long since released, go ahead. All right, so I'm gonna pop into here, which I believe. Maybe not. Is this the way to the front? No, it is not. We gotta go through the other door. I always get lost here. Yeah, even my mom is asking for people to plug themselves. Listen. This is Chorus. Yes. Um, TDRPG system inspired by the works of Yoko Taro. I'm really excited for that. I want to see what you do with it. It looks like a lot of fun. AJ is working on a coloring book for his work. And I saw a bit of that, and it it looks pretty fun. All right, can we open this door? No. Okay, so we have a few things to do here. We are going to set up both. We're going to set up one of the conditions for the bad end, which is grabbing a bottle from the storage area, which also gives us the opportunity to pick up a health drink, and scooping up the juice from the director's office. Till then, my 5e Warlock patron based on Drakengard 3's nebulous nemesis, the Flower. Hell yes. Pay what you want. Hell yes. Good. Thank you for linking it. That's great. Like I've got a good chat here, and I want people like it. I've mentioned this before. I genuinely really love seeing y'all interact outside of this place. Like there's something about that like saying, "Oh, it fills my heart with warmth." Like it's sappy, but it's true. Like I genuinely am over the moon by that. Like it's so easy to just be like, "Oh yeah, I've got the best chat in the world." I don't have to prove anything because my chatters are talking to each other and hanging out sometimes and being cool with each other and lifting each other up, and like that's the best thing I could have hoped for. There's not really anything better than that. I don't care what anyone else says. Like that's just fucking cool. It's fucking cool. Okay, so we've met the condition. To get stuff going. Give out print copies at the shows, but there will be a PDF online for free also. Ooh, I would love a PDF because then I can just open it up in Clip Studio and just color. Oh God. Now I'm thinking about a coloring book stream. Just opening up Clip Studio and taking the techniques I've learned to just do coloring book things. That seems stupid. I love it. I want to do that now. Okay, so we've done all that, and now we are going to do... I'm all in the night visitors for you opera buffs out there. There are a few of us here who are opera buffs. Hemosaurus quote, "Eating a person drastically reduces their carbon footprint." It's not wrong. And look, I offer stupid as a compliment. I have actually been trying to gear myself away from using stupid as an insult. And instead just being like, this is mindless fun, is like my shorthand. Because there's a part of me that still lives up to the mantra Weird Al posited in his Devo riff, "Dare to be stupid." It's so easy to do. We see Alessa moving into the antique store, which is our one hint of where we need to go after the hospital, and our only hint of where we need to go after the hospital. Okay, now we are on the 3rd floor. Devo riff's so good. Mark Mothersbaugh once talked about being angry at Weird Al. Weird Al is so freaking good at his like style parodies. A lot of people look at like Weird Al and just go, "Oh yeah, he's the guy who makes parodies of all these songs." He's actually a compelling songwriter in his own right and does a really great job of taking the style and making something new out of it. Like I don't know how to put it. It's just he just knows how to channel that energy really well. And like one of my favorite early works of his is "Everything You Know Is Wrong," which is a They Might Be Giants spoof, and it nails Germs horoscope for today. Yeah. Oh geez. Hey, ma'am, what's your deal? Oh, the Kataner is really good for this. Okay. Steel plate is screwed to the wall. 3rd floor. We need a screwdriver, and we'll probably need some pliers. We are still good on health, which is good. God, this Kataner is interesting. Nope. Okay. Let's see how well this works. Oh. Okay. I can rock with this. This is good. We're going to hear an engine sound the whole time, but this is good. Linens. Oh my gosh, the sound is back. The squealy sounds. Ow. Okay, so this does a lot of damage, but we're almost guaranteed to get hit when we get up close to it. Okay. So now that we're done with that, we're going to go to the storage room. Let's see. Anything of value close by? We got a blood pack, which we need for the nasty little snake critters. This door can't be opened. Okay. Where is that? So it's the storage room, which leads to the store room. Got the second of 4 plates. Okay, now we've checked out everything there is to do on the 3rd floor, and we're moving down to the 2nd. we're going to once again haul ass through everything. Oh, god damn it. First floor, then. God. Wait for it to load. So we're probably not going to get to the point where, Come on. Well, he's dead. We're probably not going to get to the point where we get to see some of the other endings right away. Or... Dude. Very rude. Or even the conditions for getting one of the endings. Well, it's just, you know, that's just going to take time. Let's see. Do I need to go to the kitchen? I don't think I do. I don't need to be here. I just also need to try and find any extra healing items that I can, just in case. We don't need that, so we're good. This weapon is so fast. And this room is so nothing. Oh. Okay, I'm starting to like the katana. Sounds heard from beyond the door. One time went for a drive with Rumi and we put on Weird Al, stuck at the drive-thru and it was still going. We got to the food place and she was like, "This song is still going?" Dude, real good at making a song go for a long time without wearing out the joke. Yeah, his longer form songs are some of my favorites. They're really good. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think we should go back to the elevator. Like, Albuquerque is, like, still a classic. Even though it is, like, just an absolutely ridiculous song. What was the one on the bus? I forget. But, like, all of those songs are just, like, 10-minute fanfares that are just extremely good. And I don't know how he does it. Like, he's actually an incredibly good singer and a rapper that other rappers have stated he is way too good of a rapper, considering he's making jokes. Okay, let's see. I need to go to the stairs, because I need to get to that second floor. Like, I still love the story. Like, Coolio, rest in peace, rest in power. You were a dude who, like, I genuinely really started to love and like for a while there, and you passed before your time. His feud with Weird Al was unfortunate and also really interesting because once he actually sat down and listened to it, he was like, you know what? That was my bad. I have no reason to be mad about this. This is a great parody. I love it. They got to apologize to each other. Because Weird Al has a thing where he asks permission before he does a song. He doesn't have to. He is legally within his right to parody a song without asking for permission. But he does so anyway because Weird Al, above all else, is a good dude. And has consistently been like, anytime he messes up, which is very rare, he has owned up to it beautifully, and he's done some great work in like being somebody worth looking up to, warts and all. And there aren't a hell of a lot of warts. And as somebody who has warts, let me tell you, that's good to know. Okay, so got all that. We need to go to the nurses center actually. And do a plate puzzle. Okay, so if I remember correctly, red is in the top left, yellow, green, blue. I can work with that. One of my favorite stories about Weird Al is when he asked for permission to do a parody of Smells Like Teen Spirit, and Kurt Cobain asks him, like, it's going to be about food? Weird Al responds, no, it's about how no one can understand what you're saying. And that's what got him the approval. It's like it made Kurt Cobain laugh, just the idea of it, and so he was just like, yeah, cool, all right, let's do it. Go for it. Okay, where are you going to come from first? There you are. Later on, they also said they knew they'd made it when Weird Al approached them. Yeah, that's, for a long time, it's not so much the case anymore, but for the longest time, that was the metric of success. Like, if Weird Al listened to your music and wanted to make a parody of it, that was it. There is an entire Sabrina the Teenage Witch episode, like the cartoon series, wherein they actually got Weird Al to do a parody of a song that was invented for the show. Just because that was the way the industry was working at the time. Which is great, I love that. Okay, so I think we need to go to the ICU now. You know what? I don't need to deal with you. We're just going to go in here. Someone around here? Whoa! Well, the katana just saved my ass. Quite literally. With that forward lunge. Also, there is a Weird Al biopic coming out that is basically the sequel to UHF that we never knew we needed. Starring Daniel Radcliffe, and it's going to be on the Roku channel for free. And I don't know how to tell anyone that this is exactly what we deserve, and probably more than we deserve, if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, the movie is not going to have any of those anecdotes. It's just going to be complete, like, almost completely fake, save for the little bits that validate the foundation of things. It's like, oh. I genuinely hope it's good. And the reviews seem to be, like, really good. Like, it's genuinely a joke a second kind of movie. Which, A, really hard to pull off, and B, apparently most of the jokes actually land. So it's like a consistently stupid and funny movie. From beginning to end. And Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al is kind of like that one scene in UHF of, like, or it's like that one scene in UHF of Weird Al wearing the Rambo outfit, or like that one scene in one of the Austin Powers movies where Tom Cruise shows up as Austin Powers. Where it's just like, this is exactly the kind of joke the industry deserves. Stop that. Oh. Come on, let me go. Not good at crowd control. Ow. Okay, this is... Ooh. Why is the katana... Like, when it lands, it's so good. Okay, we got another health bit. Don't need to bother with that fight. But we're gonna. Hell yeah. Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe's... I don't know how to describe it as anything other than, like, the best form of heel turn that exists. It's really good. Like, he's just started making weird things, but he's also done, like, really good dramatic roles and horror roles, and, like, he's just doing whatever you hand him in the best way. And he's turned out to be a good dude on top of that. Like, even better. I don't talk much about J.K. Rowling on here because I don't want to, and I don't want to give her the time of day. But, like, it was really nice seeing, like, all of the kids growing up from those movies into adults that are willing to stick their neck out and burn a bridge if it means standing up for what's right, and Daniel Radcliffe was one of them, and he continues to be just a genuinely decent person. It's a modern H.P. Lovecraft. God. I'm just waiting for the name of her cat, you know? By this point. Alright, cleared that out. God, I 1 week of not... Oh, hi, Malik. That was you who said that. Even better. Would you stop that? Oh, jeez. Yeah.
What's this?
So, fun fact about that. If y'all don't know, I know there's a lot of, like, oh, he renounced his ways on his deathbed. There was a series of letters that were recently uncovered that Lovecraft started actually unpacking his stuff near the end of his life and started understanding, like, wow, where I was coming from, the beliefs I had about other people is, like, I'm starting to realize was not cool. And, like, he was a virulently racist dude. Like, not in a super obvious way at all times, but definitely enough for some people to be like, I mean, again, as soon as you find out what his cat was named, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, dude was racist. But apparently, like, near the end of his life, he started, like, working on himself and realizing, you know what, like, there are some things to unpack. There are, like, I do have a fascination with other cultures, and I'm starting to realize that, like, having these fears, having these understandings of other people is, like, I did not intend to grow up like that, and I kind of don't need to be like this anymore. Which is not to say, yeah, let's celebrate the works of Lovecraft, because it's always going to be like, well, he was that way for most of his career. Maybe he started learning that math wasn't scary. Math used to make him throw up. That is the one time where I will say, you know what, H.P. Lovecraft, that's relatable. Yeah, it's like I'm always happy when somebody can be like, you know what, yeah, I had this whole career that was even partially built on these beliefs that I had that were kind of shitty, but you know what? I need to stop. I need to actually think about this. I need to actually like understand that this was not okay for me, that like there was always a chance for me to just grow up.
Was I dreaming?
It's nice. It's good to know like people can change. It's a situation of maybe too little, too late for most people, and that's absolutely fair. It's kind of the same boat for me. But it is nice to know that, like, even the people with the worst of beliefs can, at some point in their lives, go, you know what? I actually don't need to do this. And he figured it out in his own time. Like, it wasn't something that, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't something that was, like, he was called out or anything, or he was shamed or anything like that. That was a time where he could get away with that as, like, and at the time, socially acceptable thing to be and do. And it sucks that it was like that, but also, like, yeah, there weren't going to be a hell of a lot of people who had the power who would even think that was an issue to actually call him out on that. It seemed like, if anything, it was his friends. It was his inner circle that helped him kind of steer him out of there before the end of his life. So, you know, cool. So then it becomes like, so now my brain is kind of like, okay, H.P. Lovecraft could do it. What's your excuse? Because that dude was bad. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, like using that as like a tool in your front pocket, just being like, yeah, it's like you can change. H.P. Lovecraft can change. And that dude was real racist, like really racist, and he had plenty of clout to decide to stick to his guns forever, and he didn't. He didn't, as far as we're aware. Maybe he still had shit to work through. Maybe we only ever saw like the opening salvo of him just going like, you know what? I need to rethink some things. But he still did it. In an era where he didn't have to. In a position where
What's
if
this?
he wanted to ignore it, he could. Lovecraft built whole universes about how pants-shittingly freaked out he was by the possibility of other people having ideas or culture or life, but even he said, man, I was wrong. At the very least, he said, man, I gotta reconsider some of this stuff. I think, for the most part, that's all anyone ever asks for. You know what I mean? Just reconsider. Think about the values you hold and whether or not that's something you want to continue holding. I think a lot about that when it comes to hmm, do I want to get into this in the last 15 minutes? Yeah, sure. So, one of the things that keeps popping up on my social media feeds a lot more lately
Was that?
has been like other people talking about their experiences with ADHD and autism. And much like how a lot of trans people, especially more recent trans people, find out they're trans because they keep being fed trans-friendly content on their social media without realizing it, and it just kind of happens because they keep accidentally gravitating towards the kind of people who are queer-friendly, who are trans, who are like creators doing all this stuff. There's always a chance I'm going to sit here with like finding out that, oh yeah, I probably have ADHD or autism on some level, which isn't really a scary thing. Like, it's whatever. Another diagnosis. Fuck it. But when I think about like that kind of thing, where Lovecraft was like, yeah, I had all these ideas of why I should fear and why others should fear the other, the idea of the other, why I should be
Jill!
xenophobic, why I should be awful. Um, the fact that he like started the process of walking it back um, makes me think about this, where like I'm looking at a lot of how people talk about their relationship to neurotypical people and allistics, people who are not autistic or not neurodivergent. I forget which is which. Um, and like hearing autistic people's understanding of how neurotypicals function, and it's very like, these like neurotypicals tend to lie and hold expectations for conversation that they don't express, and there are a lot of these rules about what you can and can't say, and a lot of things that you can and can't do in social situations that don't make a lot of sense if you're not privy to those ideas of cultural norms, which when you are somebody who is autistic, you naturally have trouble with certain social cues. And like most of the descriptions that I've heard about autistic people and their experiences leads me to believe, like I keep sitting there hearing their stories and going, are you dealing with neurotypical people or are you dealing with assholes? Because I can't tell the difference with the way it's being described. Because I don't necessarily have that much of an issue with social cues, except like on hyper individualistic levels. Like I pick up on stuff pretty well, I think, but that doesn't mean I'm great at it. So when I hear these stories about like people dealing with neurotypicals who can't be honest, who keep trying to play these little social games without telling anyone they're playing it, and expecting them to just know exactly what they mean without saying it, I'm just kind of sitting there like, that seems like a sucky thing to do anyway. And so I've been sitting on that for a while, just like, a lot of the dominant culture is abusive and has a lot of cover in it for people acting cruel. Nobody notices unless they don't know the cover. Yeah. It did make me kind of think, like, okay, what's the real truth here? Is it that autistic people have a disability in the sense that there is something that they are not able to do? Or is it that what is considered neurotypical, what is considered normal, what is considered the default, is inherently a little abusive? And the answer to that is, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. But it does make me kind of sit there and go, like, if it is that difficult to understand what people are saying, and the problem, like the root cause of it, or at least one of the symptoms of this problem, is the idea that you have to necessarily play this sort of social norm game where certain rules might not ever be expressed to you, that you have to intuit without ever being told. That seems shitty for a lot of reasons. Well, we got through that without using any rifle ammo. That's great. That is exactly what we want. So I'm kind of sitting here like, how to put it? I'm sitting here very confused by the way we talk about autism, which has its other qualities that make it more difficult to function in the world. Have I expressed that this is an autism-friendly channel? Like, have I expressed that, like, this is the place for the neurodivergents? Like, there are other things that people with autism, autistic people, struggle with on a regular basis, and it is not just about like social norms. It's not just about like social contracts. It's about a lot of things. Um, but this one aspect always kind of stuck out to me because it's like I'm going to go into another tangent about gender. If you're born and raised in a white room and you are not given any sort of guidebook, no handbook, no talking about what gender is, you don't have other people to imprint on, you have no one to kind of draw inspiration from, how would you innately understand, innately understand how to look masculine or feminine? How would you even know that those are things to try and appear like? Which is a really compelling argument for why gender itself is a social construct. An important one, but a construct nonetheless. So when we talk about like autism and social norms, there's a white room thing that goes on in my head where it's like, if somebody is raised in, say, a neglectful environment, and they're not given a lot of the right cues to understand what they're dealing with, they're not given the opportunity to learn what these social norms are, is that a disability? Or is that an environmental factor in which a system has failed? What exactly would the truth be there? And this is one of those questions that I have, like, not exactly a shower thought. I have been completely sober trying to have this thought, and it's an interesting struggle to kind of unpack this. Um, okay. So I don't know how I feel about doing this fight without the rifle. But this is one of the easier boss fights in the game. Ouch. Okay, we're gonna wait for the vibration in my controller to go crazy before we heal. So yeah, like, I've been using the white room analogy a lot, or metaphor rather, to help my understanding of like, what is it that I'm taking for granted? What is it that's helping me understand when something is systemic versus and socially constructed versus an innate aspect of humanity? And it's led me to some interesting questions. It's led me to asking a lot of things that I did not know was worth asking. You know what I mean? Hell, it's even changed some political views for me, and I've only heard of this like fairly recently. It's just gotten to the point where it's like, oh yeah, there is a bunch of shit that is just made up, that is totally changeable, that is totally something we can just completely uplift because who's going to stop us? I died. That's unfortunate. But like, what do you do when you start realizing that some of the stuff is not... What do you do when some of the stuff is just like revealed to be explicitly a construct that was made up before your time, or maybe even during your time, but you weren't at the meeting? How much culpability do you hold in not knowing how that works? Ayla says, social model of disability posits, paraphrased, that where the societal systems demand ability, not having that ability becomes a disability. Other times and cultures have had a lot more space for divergent perceptions and behaviors, but the modern notion of what a person should be in capitalism is far more limited, making what was a difficulty before even more pronounced and disabling given the narrower and narrower frame of what a person is should be on a cultural level. Um, yeah, like disability was redefined for me when I mean, first comment is it all comes back to capitalism. The second comment is learning that disability specifically meant disabled from being able to navigate the world as it is currently designed. Being made unable to navigate a society that has been designed without factoring your particular bodily nuance or mental nuance by design. Which mostly means a lot more people are disabled than they think they are, and a lot more people deal with disability than they think they do. Kind of like how, what is it? I forget the statistic, but there was a staggeringly high number of people who, going to therapy, anxiety was their number one reason. And, number one diagnosis. I think it was something about 40% or higher. That PTSD is not necessarily... Gosh, okay, I really do just need to whip out the rifle here in a second. That, PTSD is something that's not just something that war veterans have. It's something that anybody can have, and complex PTSD is something that anybody can have, and that our understanding of how all these things function and the way that it disables us from average society is far more prevalent than any sort of... Wow, that was fast. Okay, so we know we can take about 3 hits. That's good to know. That's an improvement. Yeah, just I think I need to wean off of that subject a little bit because I'm not an expert. I don't know these things. I'm having a sort of rhetorical debate with myself on the nature of disability, on the nature of societal constructs and its relation to that. And it's not necessarily going to lead me to any hard conclusions. Wow, I took more hits there than I thought. That fight has a weird rhythm to it. It's one of the easier fights, but that doesn't make it not hard. It's a rabbit hole, and the short form is, I just want people to be treated better and not have to suffer so fucking much. At least for me. And me. I know a lot of people who have to deal with a lot, whether they want to or not, and I know a lot of people who make others suffer because they don't have a system in place to recover from the damage that is enabling certain negative behaviors. There's no... I wish I wasn't being so stubborn about this fight. Trying to do it this way. I want those bullets. I need those bullets. Three shots seems to be the magic number here. I'm going to use 2 instead of just 1. Ouch. Ouch. appropriate that you're talking about all this with a survival horror game, because there becomes a certain horror to having to survive in these contexts, right? The real survival horror is society. Dang it. I thought I was doing well there. And I was, but I just took too many hits. So I know that the sewer is going to be a tough part. I think nowhere will be fine. There's just enough healing items that we can stay on top of things. When people turn invisible, that's going to be a difficult thing. Come on. There you go. That's what we want. Okay, took another hit. Ow! Rude. Oh, I should heal. I know I'm in the red. We're doing okay. How are we doing on health? We're in the red. We're going to do this. We're almost done. I know it. Oh, that's a good opportunity. When he folds his arms, or when she folds her arms? When they fold their arms, that's a really good opportunity to just stop blasting. Oh god, I have heard nothing but good things about the new Gundam series, Witch from Mercury. Utano with grim sci-fi dystopia straddling cyberpunk and transhumanism, and also there's giant robot fights. That's everything I want. Okay. So we're gonna work our way to our next save point. We burned through a lot of our healing items, but that's okay. We'll roll with it. Oops. We're gonna head out of here and we're going to make our way to the sewers and get to the first save point that we come across before we stop for the night. Thank you for reminding me to watch Gundam. I really need to anyway. I've been wanting to do like a full, like, good Gundam series run through because I have a whole bunch of Blu-rays of like the original series along with the Origin reprints and I think the original digest movies of the original series. And I want to watch Turn of Gundam because of Sid Mead, and I want to watch Iron-Blooded Orphans, and I want to get really into Gundam. Let's see. As I work my way through the last of this, let's go ahead and do our wind down. So VOD is available for 60 days after initial airing, and I have been numbering and thumbnailing all of the videos so that they are super easy to find. I started with Silent Hill. I'm going to be working my way to doing thumbnails for everything I've done that's up on YouTube and start cutting out that initial scrawl of like pre-roll before the stream. So that's fun. I'll probably need to hire an editor to kind of cut out those 15 minutes and help stitch stuff together, which is expensive and hard to do. Okay. Wait. Can the katana help? Let's try the katana because, oh my god, I can't deal with these guys right now. Oh. Gosh, those guys are kind of nasty to deal with. Not super in love with them. They've always been like surprisingly tough. Okay, what else? We're working on a sub goal. Our sub points went down to about 20. So we're looking to get 40 before we are done with our last ending for Silent Hill 3. And Spook Month is literally going to last as long as it takes to finish Silent Hill 1 through 3. Oh yeah, sub points are based on currently active subscriptions, as well as like some other factor I don't know. And that'll just happen. It means that if you have some horror friends who really like Silent Hill 2 and you want to support the stream and probably most importantly watch Silent Hill 4, a game that is very tough to play and a gigantic pain in the ass for a lot of people involved. And I say this with love in my heart. Then, I don't know, share the channel as best you can. It would be really nice. I'm also going to start doing some wind downs at the end of streams to kind of get ready for raids. So that way it's like a lot easier to like wind down comfortably. We can all kind of grab a drink before moving on to something new. In fact, some folks I really like have come back to streaming. In fact, who do I know? I know Jenny VTuber is back and currently playing Lego Brick Tales. Indigo Blooper is playing Cassette Beasts. I forget his name. Jet Greguar, who goes by something else on Twitch, has come back to streaming, which I'm really excited about because that dude is like high energy, very funny, and just, hey Lindsay, you're at the tail end, but hi, it's good to see you. I mean, it's good to see you anyway. I like you. You're good. Okay, we got to a save. We're in the sewer. Everything is great. We are hurting, but it's fine. God, there is a temptation to just sit here and play all the way through. And I can't. I can't do that to myself. Well, yeah. I know the work you do. I've seen your shit. I love your art. I'm excited for anything you work on. God damn it. God frickin' damn it. Don't even fucking test me. Anyway. We're gonna tune out for now. It's been really nice to be able to come back to this. I took a week off for personal reasons. I'm glad to be on it. I had the itch, and I'm very pleased to be able to do it. So yeah, we're not far from the end of Silent Hill 1. We have this next ending, which is going to be the bad ending, bad plus, and then the good ending, and then we're moving on to a little interstitial, possibly World of Horror, might be something else. before we move on to Silent Hill 2, Restless Dreams Edition, which has all the extra content. And that'll probably start either later this week or next week, which is really exciting. So yeah, I've been Robin and Andrew Jack without a scene will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. Thank you all for coming. Get hydrated, get vaccinated, get maxed up. Be good, be safe, be awesome, and be gone. Bye.